Happy Saturday once again, folks, and welcome back to Injection of Inspiration, where every single Saturday right here on the show, I, Graham G.S. Matthews, inject you with your daily dose of motivational advice, helpful tips, and all that other great positive shit. Hope you guys are doing well. Today's topic comes to you courtesy of one Jason Davis at Blue Eye Disorder here on the YouTube. He's been here, and I've talked about him multiple times here on the show. Hashtag AskGSM, WrestleRant, Random Video Blog. You guys know him. He's pretty much a celebrity at this point. He's awesome. He did mention to me a while ago to get this quote here on the show for Injection of Inspiration. He sees all these quotes all the time here on the show for the past 30 plus episodes, and he's been wondering and waiting when I would get this specific one on. And I love it. It's not just some random quote. He has it tattooed on his arm. It might have been the first tattoo he ever got. But it's a great fucking quote. I really, really like it. I know I've talked about it, not this specific quote, but along the lines of it before, but I thought I would make it a formal episode for today's injection. It is, from one, Kurt Cobain, I would rather be hated for who I am than loved for who I am not. I first heard that quote, not from Kurt Cobain, I was not around back then, but I fell in love with the quote like that. I think Miz had said something similar, who I know Jason hates, so the irony here is real. But Miz had said something similar in that build-up video package for his match with John Cena at WrestleMania 27, saying, I'd rather be hated for who I am than loved for something I'm not. Or something along those lines. It was very, very similar, replacing a few words with who and what, whatever. But same message sent here. You'd rather be hated for who you are than loved for what you're not. Basically saying, don't be something you're not. I've said it a million times before. People are going to like you for being genuine. If people only like you for something, for an act you're putting on because you want to fit in, or you really, really, really want someone to like you, that's only going to last so long. No one's going to fucking care. You're going to have to become yourself eventually. You can only be someone else for so long. Even if you are putting on an act for a lengthy period of time, you're not going to be enjoying yourself. You can only be someone else for so long before the act is up, and then figure out who you are. And then it's all fucking over, and then you're going to regret it, and then you're going to have no friends. The people who like you for who you are the people that will always be there. And the people that like you for who you are, like you for who you are. You don't have to change a single thing about you. You don't have to change a single damn thing about who you are. That's amazing. How lazy, how great is that? I know it sounds lazy, but you don't have to change at all. Just be you. It sounds easy, and it really is. But for a lot of people, it's very complicated. What does it mean to be me? You have to find you sometimes. If you don't know who you are, you might have to do some soul searching. But it really should not be so hard. Just be you. How you act every single day of your life, in the confines of your home or within, the small confines of your friends and family. You may be different with friends than you are with family. I understand that part of it. But basically what I'm saying is that you gotta be you. People will like you for you. I said this on Twitter about a week and a half ago. Quick side story here. I was talking to someone a few weeks back. This fascinating person who would break the mold. I was talking to some chick who, I don't want to say some chick. She was a girl, obviously. No disrespect intended. She was saying she likes video games. She likes anime, all this other stuff, and not your typical, quote-unquote nerdy girl. And I don't say nerd as a bad thing. Dude, I'm a fucking wrestling nerd. I am the biggest nerd there is when it comes to wrestling. I have all this merchandise. I'm the biggest nerd, the biggest mark you will ever find in your life. And if I'm a loser for that, then who fucking cares? I have been very open about my love for pro wrestling for so long, pretty much ever since I started watching it. I've never shied away from, talking about my love for wrestling, because that's who I am. That's who I am in and out. And if you don't like that, then tough shit. I don't need you in my life anyway. You're not worth my time. So don't talk to me. I won't talk to you. So leave me alone, is what I'm trying to say. If you can't accept who I am, if it takes longer for people to accept who you are, and they don't accept you right off the bat, that's not usually a good sign. You gotta be you. You gotta be real. You have to be as real as it gets. And people will not only like you for who you are, they will respect you for being you and for being real. Real recognizes real. And it might take longer rather. It might be harder and it might take longer for you to find those people. But once you do, it's worth the wait. I've talked to so many people my age that all they do is drink, all they do is smoke, all they do is do drugs. And you know what? I'll talk about those things. I think I've talked about drinking before on an episode not too long ago. All the episodes kind of bleed together in my mind at this point. I record so many of them. And that's fine. I mean, if you do that shit, I don't put down anyone who smokes or does drugs or drinks and all that other shit. If you choose to do that, that's your life. I am a full believer, 100%, a believer in the fact that you choose your own path in life. And if you want to do what you want to do, that's completely fine. I won't judge you. As long as you don't judge me for the things that I like, I won't judge you for the things that you like. Could not care less. If it doesn't affect me, I don't get two shits. What I'm trying to say is basically that those people who occupy their time constantly with drinking and smoking and doing drugs and basically wasting time doing literally nothing are the people I see every single day of my life. I like people that are not normal. And that sounds weird to say, but it's true. I like the weirdos. I like the freaks and geeks, as Paige and AJ Lee would like to call them. The outsiders, people like me, because I'm different. I am definitely different from your normal 22-year-old kid. Trust me. I don't do any of that stuff. Not to say that I'm better. No one is better than anybody. We are all on an equal playing field. We're all equal here, okay? I'm not saying that. But I encounter so much of the same people that I don't know if that's truly who they are. And if that's who they are, then great for them. I feel like some people like to cover up who they actually are with drugs and drinking and all that other shit because they don't know who they are, or they're scared of who they are, or they think people won't like who they are. So they try to fit in with the wrong crowd. But that's neither here nor there for today's episode. Going back to what I was saying earlier, and finding and meeting this person who is not your conventional nerd, beautiful girl, liking anime and not wrestling, but comic books and all this other, movies and stuff like that. I'm thinking, you know what? You're pretty fucking cool. I've known you for maybe 10 minutes, but you're pretty cool. You are a cool chick in my book because you aren't your typical teenager. You're not your typical early 21-year-old kid, 22-year-old kid, because you're not occupying your time doing the same thing as everyone else. Sometimes you gotta go against the grain to stand out, and don't do it just to stand out. If you wanted to do that, you could walk down the street with fucking purple hair and no shoes, and that was a very easy way to get recognized. But don't do it for attention. Just do it to be you. And people will recognize that. And some other people might look down on that and like, oh man, you're not your typical teenager. If you don't smoke and drink, then you're not cool. You're not my kind of crowd. And then again, those people are not worth your time. And if they hate you for who you are, at least you are who you are. At least you know for a fact. You're never going to continue wondering like, oh, is that person going to like me? And if they don't like who you are, then tough shit. I'm not going to put up a fake act for you. But again, people like that are the people who fascinate me. Specifically those that like wrestling, comic books, even anime, which gets a bad reputation. I'm not into anime personally, but for those that are, I hold nothing against them whatsoever. People like that, in my opinion, are the most passionate fucking people you will ever meet. Because they love, they have an interest in things. Even people that love sports. I'm not a big sports guy. I think it's kind of cool to go against the grain and like things that people don't ordinarily like wrestling and comic books and movies and shit like that. Sports is pretty common, but at least you have an interest in something. I know so many people my age that aren't interested in anything. They don't, even people that don't drink. I'm not even saying it's like a drink and smoke thing. I know people that don't drink and smoke that don't like anything. They don't have any interests in TV shows. They don't have any interest in anything, really. It's like, dude, that's so fucking boring. That's so normal, and that's up to you, and that's fine. But I don't like to hang with that type of crowd. Those are the people that fascinate me the most. And I like to say quite a bit here on the show, I don't like people, which is true to an extent, but I love fascinating people. Like, I don't want you to be a weirdo where you're a fucking pervert or you're just like bizarrely eating your own boogers type of thing. Obviously not that kind of weird, but I'm talking about weird in the sense that you're not your ordinary individual. You're not your ordinary teenager. You're not your ordinary adult. You like the things that you like, and you're not shy about telling people that you like them. You're not shoving it down their throat, but you're not going to be something that you're not. So you should be hated. I mean, I'm not saying, like revel in the fact that you're despised, but you know what? Who fucking cares? If the people that hate you for who you are don't like you for that fact alone, you know what? Tough shit. They're not taking the time to learn the real you. They're really, really missing out. Because once you look in the mirror and you don't realize your own awesomeness every single morning, then you should get to that point where you can look in the mirror and you're not falling in love with yourself. I'm not saying that, but you know your worth, you know who you are, you know what you're about, you know what you stand for, and you know the people that surround you care and love about you. Never forget about that. Some people get in these very depressing slumps and whatnot, thinking that no one cares about them or nothing they do matters, which I talked about 2 weeks ago. It always matters. Everything you do matters. What people think about you, more often than not, in most cases, doesn't matter. So don't associate yourself with those people. Go out of your way to find those people that you can connect with, that you share certain similarities with, that you have common ground with, whether it be with interests or how you view life or how you are and shit like that. It's going to take longer to find those people. I hate when people say that, oh my God, everyone in this town sucks. Everyone in this town's an asshole or a bitch or whatever, a slut, whore, whatever. That's so stupid. You're obviously not putting forth the effort to get to know anybody. Like, I know you might not like people. I don't like certain people. I don't hate anybody, but there are certain types of people I just don't like. But I don't associate myself with those people. Or at least try not to do it on a regular basis. And working and whatnot, sometimes you have to associate yourself with disrespectful people and whatnot, because you have to, and you're just going to have to be respectful in return. But never think that you're alone. You're never alone in anything. And I've talked about this a million times too. You're never alone. There are people out there like you. It just might take time. It might be a bit harder to find them. And that's good, because like I said before, it's worth the wait. And at least you didn't find them day one. You know, it's going to take a little longer for you to find them, but the real journey is not the destination. You know, the real satisfaction comes in the journey, not the destination. So always remember that. You're never alone, and try to find those people that break the norm, that aren't the norm, that break average, that aren't your ordinary teenagers, adults, kids, whatever. Those are the people that I like a lot, that fascinate me, and that I try to associate myself with, because they're not scared to be who they are. Those are the people I love talking to and love, finding out more about. So again, find those people, be who you are. And again, going back to that great Kurt Cobain quote, thank you, Jason, for once again reminding me to do it for today's show. I would much rather be hated for who I am than loved for who I am not. I've said that since day one. I will continue to say that till the day I die, and hopefully you believe that as well. So I would love if you took something away from this episode, whether it be one sentence or one rant, whatever. I thoroughly appreciate your support of the show, of the channel. Continue your support, showing support by liking the video, dropping a comment, sharing the video, subscribing to the channel. All that stuff is thoroughly appreciated. We'll be back next Saturday with another all-new episode / installment in the Injection of Inspiration series. Until then, guys, I'm Graham G.S. Matthews. Enjoy the hell out of your weekend, and I'll catch your ass down the road.